Hey, welcome to a Monday edition of Command HQ. My name is Brock. It is Monday, June 6th, 2022. We got a couple stories here on our bulletin board today. Agent X is here as well. We have the call-in number up top. As usual, please do subscribe and like the video if you can. Agent X, what do you think of some of these indictments coming through today, including the Proud Boys, and then we have some more Hunter Biden stuff?
Well, first off, let me say what's up, my party people. Man, they're we're gonna have a summer of Antifa. Um, you're starting to see these manufactured court cases and indictments, and you're starting to see uh, the I guess the racial provocateurs out in full force. Um, we're gonna have a we're gonna have an interesting summer, that's for sure.
Maybe it'll be a tame summer since COVID is a thing of, well, not of the past, but it is slowed down. We don't have these lockdowns. I might have an opposite prediction. I think that people are going to get on with their lives and not necessarily get so caught up in these social justice causes.
I disagree. I mean, I disagree because the workforce is, you still have a lot of people sitting around doing nothing. People get out during the summer. They're going to say that people have been cooped up because of COVID, and they want to get out and they want to make their voice heard where they couldn't before. And protesting is important. Yada yada yada. I think you're really going to see some crazy stuff when you see these Supreme Court decisions drop. I think you're going to see. I think the Bill Cosby trial starting soon, and I think um, you're going to see the the racial divisions uh, start heating up, particularly with the mainstream media. Um, it's interesting they're going after the Proud Boys because it kind of signals to Antifa that hey, game on. It's basically what they're doing, man. They charged them, they indicted them, and it's basically like, hey, Antifa, game on. Let's try to go get some more right wing protesters.
Well, maybe they're trying to go after Proud Boys and make a statement that it is a group filled with white supremacists, even though the leader is a Hispanic male, and there's lots of black men in Proud Boys as well. So, but
It's bizarre
here's the funny thing: is why don't you hear about indictments about Antifa leadership?
because they don't indict Antifa, they cut them loose.
Okay, so let's talk about this Hunter Biden
Did
story.
you see that? Did you see the prosecutor and the district attorney in San Francisco? He's facing a recall. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
yeah.
something in San Francisco, most liberal city in America, where shoplifting is no longer a crime. You have literal shit all over the streets, and they don't
Chesa
prosecute
Bodine.
anything. Yeah, I think his mother was like a some sort of liberal, uh, not just an activist, but she was like a
Yeah, she was in the
um,
Weather Underground.
yeah, exactly. She was in the Weather Underground. Yeah,
They tried to
but
they tried to they intercepted a Brinks security truck with a bunch of money in it, and they
that's
held
right.
him up. And I think they tried to blow the truck up or something. And I think they ended up, unfortunately, either seriously injuring the Brinks driver or killing him or something like that. I can't
Yep,
remember the
that's right.
exact details, but it was something like that. Yeah, and I think that his father spent 40 years in prison until he was just recently um, let out.
Just the person you want to have running the district attorney's office in one of the most crime ridden major cities in America.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said that he's not responsible for what his parents did. This country wasn't built on that, and he isn't.
Uh,
But he
I,
did
I well,
advocate
I
himself
agree with that.
for. He
I
did
agree with
advocate
that.
himself for like socialism, and it's not his parents. This is him.
Right, I agree with that. But he's like written stuff about how he's like proud of his mother and proud of his parents. He's a fucking nut job. So, but I just think it's interesting that they're recalling this guy. Uh,
Jessup Bodine. He's done a really terrible job in San Francisco. I mean, crime is rampant, and he's pissing so many people off. He's not just pissing off conservatives, which probably number in the mere hundreds at this point in San Francisco. I mean, he's pissed off all of the very very wealthy liberals out there, and yeah, everybody's really just pissed that there's so much crime in San Francisco, and it's now uh, polluted areas, in the East Bay and Oakland and stuff. Yeah, so it's gone everywhere.
yep. But you want to get back to the Hunter Biden story?
Okay, so let's get back to this Hunter Biden story. Um, okay, so it's slowly leaking out. Oh, jeez, that's not very safe for work, is it? This is in a New York Post article, by the way.
This was like
Um,
the lead story today.
so tell me more about this.
Apparently now they have an image of his iPhone from what 2016 to 2018, I think. It's in the article. But here he's having sex with a stripper and he's showing off a gun that he was a 38 caliber that he bought a few days earlier. Uh Man, this is not good. I mean, and they go in, they talk about Haley Biden throwing the gun away and the Secret Service going to recover it. She threw it in a dumpster behind like a supermarket or something. And uh the Secret Service claims that they had no knowledge of it, and it's just complete bullshit. They're covering for this guy. They're covering for the whole Biden crime family. But it's interesting. This stuff leaks out, and just nobody gives a shit. Like how dishonest was the media when Trump was running for president, and they basically tried to kill this story as um, Russian disinformation. Don't believe it. Yada yada yada. And then, dude, you have like a chat like right in the middle of your screen there.
Do I? I
Yeah,
don't see it.
it's very 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 small, very very small. Um, but yeah, now this stuff is leaking out, and just like the mainstream media doesn't report it, nobody gives a shit. You know, Perhaps the biggest story ever: the president getting sent fucking links to child, CP, uh, and um, from his son, and they don't do shit about it. Like it gets overshadowed by Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Dude, somebody put, wait, why you look like Randy Savage?
I think that's a compliment. Thank you very much, Richard Gobbler. Um,
Oh yeah, Macho
oh yeah,
Man.
he was in all those commercials for beef
Snap
jerky
into a
too.
Slim Jim.
Yeah, the Slim Jim commercials. Let me figure out
How's
how I
my
remove
Randy
that.
Savage?
It's
How's
perfect,
my
man.
Randy
Perfect.
Savage? How's my
Love it.
Randy Savage?
It's perfect, man.
I'm telling you, man. Dude, but Haley Biden, all I gotta say is, oh yeah.
I think you got to come out with a Randy Savage character next time we stream.
You think so? Dude, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to get Pintar working on it.
Yep. I'm trying to figure out
Haven't
how
heard
to
from
remove the
Pintar in
chat
a
thing.
while, man.
I
Haven't heard
know.
from Pintar in a while.
Okay,
Dude,
there's
but
the chat thing.
this is it's terrible. Um I don't know what to say about this other than What a massive cover up. What it just shows how dishonest the media is. And instead of releasing all the emails, they ought to just release an image of the fucking hard drive so people can download it and look at it themselves.
Well, that that creates a whole different set of issues because if this is illegal material, you can't have it on your own personal network. You can't really see some of this stuff. And since we have law enforcement bodies, in this case, the FBI, supposedly investigating and they're concealing all of this stuff, you're kind of like between a rock and a hard place. It's a catch 22.
Yep. Dude,
Um, yeah,
why
no,
you
I
looking like
agree.
Randy Savage, bro?
Dude, I'm gonna change my usernames online to Randy Savage now. Thank you so much, Richard, for that compliment. By the way,
Macho Man.
do subscribe to this YouTube channel if you can and like the video. I'd really appreciate it. Agent X and I typically do a nightly stream unless we're extremely busy, which we have been. We've also been kicked off YouTube probably 5 times now, and they come up with new excuses each time, and they just redo strikes for old content. But we're still here. All right. Elon Musk claims that Twitter is in breach of their contract. Now, to highlight what happened here, Twitter originally accused Elon Musk of being in breach of the offer to buy Twitter, right? Because I think that Twitter accused Elon of what was it? I can't even remember at this point. But now Elon is doing the same thing, so he's trying to play and use a power card here over this figure related to spam bots, which Twitter said was about 5% of their entire user base. And Elon is coming back and saying it's not 5%, it probably is more like 15%.
I thought he said it was more like 30%. Was it in the
Well, he
article?
probably did say 30%. Let's see. He's trying to get a little discount from his original offer of 54
Well,
bucks.
some people. Well, I mean, the stock market's taking a hit. What's it at right now? It closed at 39.56. Um, he's trying to get a discount over his original offer, but I don't think he has any intent to actually buy it. Right? I think he's going to back out, and he's basically trying to draw Twitter out into admitting that making some very unfavorable admissions, like 30% of their user base is bots. I mean, that's one theory of it. I mean, why would you want to buy Twitter? What a dumpster purchase. Something that makes no
It's because it's a
revenue.
weapon system. You can overturn democracies in third world countries with Twitter.
Maybe.
It's an invention of the deep state. The Department of Justice has now, and the Democrats in general have weaponized Twitter, and it was originally a DARPA funded project anyway. So
I don't know. I It's just such a useless platform, right? If you're a business person, it's a useless platform because it generates no revenue.
sure.
It's a money loser, right? Who knows, how long this platform is going to stay around. I mean, Facebook has gone down the toilet, but it's hung around because it bought things like Snapchat and Instagram.
Did
um
Facebook buy Snapchat? I don't think Facebook bought Snapchat. I think they bought WhatsApp.
no, I think they bought Snapchat.
Pretty sure they didn't. Regardless, yes, you're right.
uh
They have bought out and monopolized certain areas of content on the internet. They bought out Instagram.
right, yeah, I guess they don't own it, never mind. um but they bought Instagram. They bought a few things that have failed. um let's see.
Yep.
About WhatsApp, so that's not good. Maybe people should stop using WhatsApp. Um,
WhatsApp really isn't that usable.
no, particularly if you're on a desktop. Um, let's see. They have a lot of Peebles, Quickfire Networks, Private Core. Okay, they bought Oculus, right? In
That's been a failure.
2014. Yeah, I mean the
They're trying to turn
Oculus
that into
Rift.
Meta now.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool, but you can't adjust the like my eyes are bad, and you can't adjust. So everything's blurry. Like on the old Samsung headsets, you could adjust the lenses. I don't know what's up with it. Um, but yeah, I mean they bought a lot of stuff that it's been just like complete failures. Um,
Okay, I have a theory about Facebook because Facebook came out in like 2001, 2002, and this was a way for users on the internet to sort of identify themselves because before 2001, of course, this is always an issue on the internet, but you could be anyone you want and you never knew really who you were talking to. And with Facebook, you could then sort of see if someone was real. I mean, it was kind of attached somewhat to reality. You had to use your real name if you signed
well,
up.
that's partially true. I mean, I think that they've pretty much come out and they admitted that the purpose of Facebook was it was a CIA DARPA funded project. I think it may have been a DIA funded project in which they wanted a platform where they could more easily collect data on people. So the idea was people would sign up and willingly give over their data. Um, and it would make the track trace database society for the government much easier because here we have people logging in and freely providing their information, what they like, what where they live, who their friends are, what their networks are, pictures of where they're hanging out, and it just made it a shit ton easier to collect data on people, and that
Well,
was the
and
whole purpose of it.
here's how DARPA works, by the way. So they scan patents, they scan huge databases for new inventions, but what they really like is kind of like new tech that comes out of universities. And when Mark Zuckerberg created the Facebook, which it was originally called, with a couple other guys out of Harvard in 2000 and 2001. He actually created it, I think, when he was a freshman or a sophomore at Harvard. So that would have been around 2000, let's see, 2002 and 2003. Um, they wanted to just create kind of like a seed and then take it from there. And I think Facebook had widespread dominance for 10 years. And now, I mean, everybody's jumping ship. People I know that work at Facebook are jumping ship. They're trying to get out of there as fast as they can. Facebook
It's a
News, for
dying
example, has
platform.
been a total failure.
It's a dying platform. It's a dying platform with a an aging, like nobody uses Facebook. Everyone says, they only go on there and they use it to promote things or they use it for marketplace, but nobody uses it. Like no young people use it. Young people use Snapchat, Instagram. Um, you don't know how many times I have like these college kids come up to me and like, do let me have your Snap, let me have
Yeah.
your um it's mostly Snap. What's your Instagram? What's let me get your DMs. I'm just like, dude, I don't have any of this shit, man. I've got text message. Hit me on the text message.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
They want your Snap. Why do they want your Snapchat, bro?
Dude, because they're trying to slide in my DMs, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You
very
sure?
popular with women in their 20s.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't look like the macho man, unfortunately.
Oh, Randy Savage got a lot of chicks, let me tell you.
Oh yeah. You got Miss
Oh
Elizabeth.
yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. So let's
Dude,
see.
you know what I think you should do? I think you should cut a wrestling promo. I think you should cut a wrestling promo.
You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cut a
You
wrestling
should cut
promo.
one. You should cut one. Listen here, Mean Gene.
Do you remember that kind of meme video with Trump and he's wrestling? Like Schiff, a couple other like Nancy Pelosi.
He have you ever seen where he was like he got stunned by Stone Cold?
Yeah, yeah, that's the meme video I'm thinking of, I think. No,
Yeah,
wait, no,
yeah,
wait.
yeah.
That year, no, he actually went to like the
He was
WWF or
actually like
whatever.
participated. Yeah, he participated,
Oh yeah, I
and he
remember
like
that.
got into it with Vince McMahon. It was it was obviously fake, but it's funny to watch.
That was good. I wish that the WWF could probably do something about this $5 a gallon gas price.
Dude, we're fucked, man. We're fucked as a country.
They need to send
Fucking
Randy
Joe Biden.
Savage over there
Yeah,
to
they
do some
do.
negotiating.
Yep, the Macho Man.
I bet you if they did that, the price of gas would drastically decrease overnight.
Who knows? Hey, hold on. I'll be right back, man.
All right. Okay, so one of my favorite channels to go to on YouTube is The Uneducated Economist. Now, I've watched a ton of his recent videos, but he's talked a lot about gas prices in general. He got a lot of play over the price of timber in his area, but I think he gives some really good answers to gas prices in general, especially as it relates to the local refinement of oil and the fact that we're probably never going to see another refinery built in the United States, at least. Um,
Ron Johnson versus the.
so it's something I always
Dude,
turn to. Yep.
you hitting up Ron Johnson?
Yeah, it was an
You
ad
hitting
on
up
the
the
Uneducated
uneducated?
Economist.
Dude, the uneducated economist, he actually spits some truth, man. He is the most legit dude on YouTube. Give him a shout out,
Yeah,
bro.
I really like just straight facts. And I think the Uneducated Economist does a really good job of laying that out. And I like
And his
people who are
videos are
real.
short. His videos are short to the point. He does live streams that are a little longer, but his taped content is like short to the point, very informative. He's a good subscribe.
So, were those all your Snapchat women trying to call you just now, or what?
Oh yeah, dude. Got many.
What do you think about $5 a gallon gas?
It's not good. It's going to crash the economy. I
Okay,
mean, what's driving up inflation, right? It's crazy.
gas and
Um,
energy
it's
costs.
gas, energy costs, and the problem with it is right is that there's there's not really a way. Like there's no alternative, right? I mean, there's no readily
Yeah, what do you
available
mean there's no
alternative.
alternative? All they have to do is start importing more oil. They need to just start producing more oil. They
Well,
don't want to.
they don't want to, right? And they have this conflict with Russia where they've artificially pumped up the prices and artificially shut off demand. But they've also killed production through fracking and a lot of domestic production. Like it's wild, man. I don't know what to say about it, but our country is. I mean, we are in a serious decline with Biden as president.
Well, here's the other issue is that it's not just the price of oil. We have failed to invest in proper transportation technology in this country for a very long time. If you're in Japan, they have these high speed trains, bullet trains.
High speed rails, man. We should
We
have
don't
high speed
have any
rails.
of that in the
We don't have a
US.
high, we don't have a single high speed rail. I mean, we have one kind of uh in the Northeast, I guess from New York to Boston, maybe. There's like sections of it that's quasi high speed, but we should have high speed trains that take us, you know, across the country in 12 hours or 14 hours. I mean, this is wild that we don't.
Biden is a huge fan of trains. He's got this mythos of riding the Amtrak from Delaware to DC as a senator for 20 years. Um, he'd be the perfect person to start investing in a high-speed train, or at least starting to
Yep.
lay some tracks for it, because it takes more than 4 years to build. It would just be like Trump's wall, except it would be a train. Why not just
Yep.
divert the money from the wall into building the infrastructure for this high-speed train? That would make perfect sense to me.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. But I want to talk. I have a point to make about something. But give me 1 second.
All right. Yeah. So as I was saying, I think that. By the way, please do subscribe to the channel and like the video if you can, Agent X, and I would highly appreciate that. But as I was saying, I think that, and it's not just high-speed bullet train infrastructure. I mean, Elon Musk is taking this route with the Boring Company, where he's actually trying to create some of the investment in this infrastructure, um, and innovating new ways to do it. What we really need is like a federal transportation grid that's not just interstate highways. We need a network of high speed trains to connect major cities, Chicago to Cincinnati, um, you know, Texas, Dallas to Phoenix. Start with these small hubs and then connect up some of the more major
Sorry,
ones. Some of the,
I'm back.
the greatest increase in gross domestic product that this country has ever seen is when we had um, these great railways in Minnesota. They used to call them the Great Northern Railway, that connected Seattle all the way to Minneapolis or St. Paul.
Dude,
So yeah,
let
I
me tell you
mean,
something.
we got to get some. Yep.
Think about this. Think, how quickly the interstate highway system and how vast it is, how quickly it was built in the United States, and it was done in the course of what, 30 years, maybe 40 years, and then it just stunted out. We don't build new roads. We don't maintain the ones we have. Our airports are shit. But I mean, like, we built a lot of fucking roads in a very short period of time. Why can't we build a railway system and get it done? I mean, look, now you build one fucking road and it takes 30 years. We built the entire interstate highway system in 30 years. It's ridiculous. And why can't we develop high speed rail? We have an infrastructure problem in this country.
Yeah, we do. Like the Autobahn in Germany was built post World War II, if I remember correctly, and it's been very well maintained for upwards of 70 years now. If you go to Europe and you're at an airport, they're constantly working on new terminals. It never ends. And yeah, there's constant construction work at a lot of airports, but it's not on the same scale that it is at some of these major airports in Europe, like Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris or Heathrow in London. Uh, they're always building new terminals. They're always adapting to the latest technology. And most importantly, they have a really well planned out system of transportation to get people from like a port of entry to surrounding areas. That is something on a federal level that we do not have in the United States. And it is now time that, why are we, by the way, if we're able to send billions of dollars in foreign aid to Ukraine, why can't we use that money for a transportation grid here in the United States? And one of the reasons that we're also dependent on vehicles, right, is because we have to drive in rural areas to get to our own homes, because we have to drive, I don't know, 50, 100 miles from an airport to where we live. And it's not necessarily as bad in Europe. Agent X?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I agree with everything you said. It's This country is. It's the country stalled out, right? We stalled out on our ingenuity. We stalled out on on building up our infrastructure. I mean, we've stalled out on building up our military. It's really sad. I mean, we're entirely dependent upon being a debt-based economy servicing the rest of the world. And
What
right
for
now,
though?
you're
Is it
seeing because
is
because we want to be the world's reserve currency.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
this money is
we've
now being used so that they can put on these drag shows for families.
yeah. I mean, what a wild thing to have a family friendly drag show, and then you have kids walking down the runway, and behind them are big neon signs that say it's not going to lick itself.
I can't even comment. That's just so sick. I mean,
There's a
again,
video.
nothing against drag
Look it up
shows,
on YouTube.
but when it reaches this level of depravity, family friendly drag show, okay, that's just a little too much. All right, yeah, there's a video in here, right, from Dallas.
I think so.
We touched on this a little bit yesterday, but I think our stream got shat on exactly the moment that we started to play this. So I wanted to play it a little bit again. And then I also have a little interview with Hunter Biden set up here where you can hear his voice. You can determine for yourself if this is actually Hunter Biden on this White House stream from January 21st, 2021. This is not a parody account, by the way. This is the real White House account. And you can hear Hunter Biden talk about a plea deal that he accepted, somehow getting piped into the official White House stream at this particular timestamp. Yeah, so let's play this and then we'll compare it to his actual voice. So here we go.
Nominee for Secretary of Health.
So just so you know, my life, as
Dr.
we're waiting
Rick
to do
Murphy,
this, I
our
just
nominee for
agreed
Surgeon
to
General. Dr. Rochelle
plea sentence
Walensky,
for,
she's
a
going to
guy.
be the director for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And
Okay. So you heard about 5 or 10 seconds of Hunter Biden talking about accepting a plea deal. And then here's an interview from CBS where you can hear Hunter Biden's voice.
I spent more time on my hands and knees picking through rugs.
I mean, I don't have the best ears in the world, but that definitely sounds like Hunter Biden in this White House stream.
Yeah, play that a little bit longer. What was he picking around on the floor for?
It's a drug-induced haze he was in.
Smoking anything that even remotely resembled crack cocaine. I probably smoked more Parmesan cheese than anyone that you know, I'm sure, Tracy.
Because there'd be crumbs mixed in, and
yeah,
you just
yeah. I mean, I went one time for 13 days without sleeping, and smoking crack and drinking vodka.
Okay, this is a Yale-educated, Ivy League-educated lawyer. He went to Georgetown, then he went to Yale Law School. Yale Law School is the hardest law school to get into in the country. The best and the brightest go to Yale Law School. Hunter Biden could not have got into Yale Law School. He's just not competent enough. There's a lot of lawyers, there's a lot of Yale-educated lawyers who have substance abuse issues. That's true. But Hunter Biden is an exception here. Obviously, his dad rigged his way into Yale. Yeah, he's a crackhead. Rigged his way into Yale.
The only reason he got in is because his dad was I think he was the chair of
at the time or something.
He was the chair of the Judicial Committee in the Senate. That's the only reason why. And I think Bo actually went to like Delaware for law school.
Yeah,
but
he was a lot more likable. His brother was, right, Bo?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean,
it's true. I mean, he died before anything could come out.
Right? Who knows? And I mean, he at
least Bo served this country and did not seek out exceptions and did not get himself into a bunch of trouble to intentionally get kicked out of the military. I mean,
look at the woman that he married, though. He married a fucking crackhead.
Haley, yeah.
Yeah.
Who then tried to get into a relationship with Hunter.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows what was going on? We have an ass clown in the chat who said drag shows are theater. They have nothing to do with sex. Alan Springwind, you are a twat and a low IQ loser because when you have children walking down a runway behind a big neon sign that says it's not going to lick itself,
Okay.
that's not
So
theater.
I agree
That's
with you,
sex.
Alan. I think drag shows are theater. I'm not against drag shows. Not that it would matter if I was. I don't care. Great. People should have fun. Drag shows, whatever. But here's the little wrinkle in that: family friendly drag show. Okay, kids should not necessarily see a drag show. I don't know, under the age of 16, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a parent. I'm not going to set those arbitrary limits. I don't know what that age is, but wouldn't it be weird to go to a drag show with your parents? I mean, I would just be like, no, thank you. I wasn't raised in a family like that. So I think that's the major difference. There's plenty of people who have fun at drag shows, right? And it is theater.
I mean, it's one. It's yeah. I mean, it's one thing, right? To just have a bunch of men in drag or whatever, doing whatever. But when you have these shows where you're actually grooming children, and they have signs up that say it's not going to lick itself, that's about sex. You're grooming children. You're disgusting. You shouldn't pass go, and you should go straight to jail.
It could be a fake story, though. They could be exaggerating that.
Oh, look here. Dude. I'm gonna send you the link right now. There's tons of images about this. Look, I was listening to it all day. Just put it in the chat.
All right, I'm gonna pull this up right here.
Dude,
Mama
hey, Mom.
Claire, thank you. Why stop there? I'm not sure when you said that, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Mama Claire. Happy to see you in the chat.
Protesters clash with parents outside, quote, drag kids to pride drag show. I mean, this, you can't be real. Drag your kids to pride. Here's what's gonna be actually funny about all this is if parents start to normalize this activity, kids are gonna be like, nah, I'm not gonna do what my parents want, because kids never do what their parents want. It's gonna be a kind of a reverse psychology kind of thing. Dude, I don't even want to police pictures up. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's too much. I realize this isn't a Daily Mail article, but I don't even want to police pictures up. That's how bad this is. This is not appropriate for kids. These are young kids. These are not even like teenagers. I mean, how old would you say those kids are? Under 10, Agent X? And our stream just got shat on as soon as we started talking about this.
Dude, I just, seriously, I predicted it. We are going to have a school get blasted in the media for having a drag show.
All right. Well, please do subscribe if you're still watching. Our stream literally just got shat on completely, 100%. I guess it's getting late too, but
dude,
okay.
It's Hunter Biden, man. Nobody wants
Hunter
to see
Biden.
It's Hunter Biden, man.
I think we should probably close. It's a Chinese. We should probably close it out with this last story about DuckDuckGo then, Agent X, unless anybody wants to call in quickly.
Yeah, DuckDuckGo. I mean, as we all have seen, it's not an independent search engine. It's not about free speech. It is, part of the 3-letter alphabet agencies, and now we have them colluding with Bill Gates.
Well, their whole marketing scheme is that they were an alternative to Google and they weren't going to track you online. And it's not just that they're colluding now with Bill Gates, they've been colluding with Bill Gates for a while. That was what I think the controversy centered on in this particular story, that Bill Gates had been kind of secreting these negotiations behind the scenes with DuckDuckGo, and they were misleading intentionally the public in some of these advertisements, that there were some sort of like a privacy search engine, when insofar as a general consumer could tell, now that is not the case. So,
Right.
what does this say about the future of privacy, the future of search on the internet? Well, it says that it never existed, for one, and it also says that it won't exist in the future. And even if Google doesn't have your search results, someone else will. DuckDuckGo and eventually DARPA will. And since Bill Gates is just another portal into DARPA, the intelligence agencies will all have your search results, your internet history, anything you do online. All of your activity is tracked, and you got to be very careful. I mean, even privacy experts who are like insane and almost mentally ill about privacy, who want to conceal every single step that they take online, can't. You'd have to use Tor everywhere. You'd have to proxy your IP. You'd have to use like your own search framework. Essentially, you'd have to create your own robot. Probably use like some sort of like Perl technology or something to do some string parsing on results that you're getting back from certain requests. So it would be next to impossible. And the internet, especially search, is becoming almost like a public utility at this point, where you can't avoid it for anything you do. Even if you pick up garbage for a living, you're filing reports about stuff you do, and you need to use Google to search for certain information. You need to use Google Maps to track, your schedule, or where you're going to pick up trash. I mean, you can't escape using search engines, and that's the problem that we're in right now.
Yep, exactly. It's the search engine and everything that comes along with it, maps, the app stores, everything. It's just ubiquitous now. It's hard to escape. But dude, I think we should shut it down. YouTube took a big old steamy dump on our stream.
All right, well, we'll see you guys later this week, if not tomorrow. Any last words, Agent X, before we turn this off?
Stay safe out there. If you have any news stories you want us to touch on, you should send us an email. I think Brock he's got an email address somewhere. Maybe he'll say it. But yeah, we're always try to be here every night, and just stay safe out there, and drop us a line if you have anything interesting you want us to talk about, or you want to jump on the show with us.
Yeah, and please do subscribe. My email, I'll post it in the video description. So anything you want us to talk about, for sure, hit us up, hit me up, and we'll address that. So yeah, we'll see you later. Have a good rest of your week.